Nikolai Gogol, The Calash. Narrated by Allan Monteiro. The town of B had become very lively since a cavalry regiment had taken up its quarters in it. Up to that date, it had been mortally wearisome there. When you happened to pass through the town and glanced at its little mud houses with their incredibly gloomy aspect, the pen refuses to express what you felt. You suffered a terrible uneasiness, as if you had just lost all your money at play, or had committed some terrible blunder in company. The plaster covering the houses, soaked by rain, had fallen away in many places from their walls, which, from white, had become streaked and spotted, whilst old reeds served to thatch them. Following a custom very common in the towns of South Russia, the chief of police has long since had all the trees in the gardens cut down to improve the view. One never meets anything in the town, unless it is a cock crossing the road, full of dust and soft as a pillow. At the slightest rain, this dust is turned into mud, and then all the streets are filled with pigs. Displaying to all their grave faces, they utter such grunts that travellers only think of pressing their horses to get away from them as soon as possible. Sometimes some country gentleman of the neighbourhood, the owner of a dozen serfs, passes in a vehicle which is a kind of compromise between a carriage and a cart, surrounded by sacks of flour, and whipping up his bay mare, with her colt trotting by her side. The aspect of the marketplace is mournful enough. The tailor's house sticks out very stupidly, not squarely to the front but sideways. Facing it is a brick house with 2 windows, unfinished for 15 years past, and further on a large wooden market stall standing by itself and painted mud colour. This stall, which has to serve as a model, was built by the chief of police in the time of his youth, before he got into the habit of falling asleep directly after dinner, and of drinking a kind of decoction of dried gooseberries every evening. All around the rest of the marketplace are nothing but palings, but in the centre are some little sheds where a packet of round cakes, a stout woman in a red dress, a bar of soap, some pounds of bitter almonds, some lead, some cotton, and 2 shopmen playing sveka, a game resembling quotes, are always to be seen. But on the arrival of the cavalry regiment, everything...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?